Hello everyone and welcome back to my biggest LEGO Harry Potter set review. This is the Hogwarts Castle, the main tower set. This set retails for I believe $260 in the United States. When I bought it, I bought the road plates with it too, so I'm not 100% sure on the price. But it has 2,135 pieces, set number 76454, and it is rated 10 and up with a boatload of minifigures. There are 2 professors, Nearly Headless Nick, 2 of the older students, and then there are 7 student minifigures. So there is 12 minifigures in this entire set, which is crazy, not including Fluffy the dog. But there's a lot in the set to unpack, so let's get right into it. Here's a look at the back of the box, which shows the addition of the main hall, which we will get to in a separate video because I'm going to make a huge Hogwarts display and I'm going to have a video for that showing everything off in it. And then of course we have just some of the additions of the set throughout it, and it is a huge set at that. So let's get into it. Starting off, we have our 4 pajama minifigures, or just outfit minifigures that aren't just main Hogwarts robes. And all 4 are exclusive to the set. And then they all have their basic secondary faces with their back printing, which is very simple like that. Next up for the minifigures, we have Nearly Headless Nick, Albus Dumbledore, and Professor Kettleburn. Now these 3 minifigures are, as far as I know, pretty exclusive to the set. Nearly Headless Nick might not be because he was the most popular ghost minifigure they've ever done, and he's honestly a very cool ghost minifigure compared to the other set. And it has a secondary face print, and he looks very cool. I love all the pieces they used for this minifigure. Next up, we have the Professor, and he has 1 leg and a wooden leg, and again, very simple printing. No double face, which is fine because it's mostly covered in that beard. And again, very simple but cool minifigure at that, and it's another Professor to add to your collection. And then next, we have Dumbledore again, because Dumbledore's office is part of the set, so it just makes sense that this minifigure is here again. And he is different from the last time we've seen him. He does have a secondary face with some cool printing on the back. There's no side printing or arm printing, which is definitely sad to see that there's no arm printing. Would have definitely liked that. But again, it's a basic minifigure. And then we have 3 normal Hogwarts students, a Ravenclaw, a Hufflepuff, and a Gryffindor. So sadly, there is no Slytherin basic outfits in this set. And again, these are 3 basic minifigures. We have, if I can get my box, we have Lisa Turpin, Ernie McMallan, and Dean Thomas, which is in a lot of Harry Potter sets. And I'm not sure if any of these are exclusive. They're, again, just using normal minifigure parts. And this one actually has unique faces for all 3, which is kind of cool. But again, nothing too crazy there. Using Luke Skywalker's hairpiece, random hair pieces, but it's cool. You're getting more Harry Potter minifigures. And then the last 2 minifigures in the set, we have Percy Weasley, I'm pretty sure for the 2nd time ever. I'm not sure. Definitely a more rare minifigure. And then we have Marcus Flint, which is I believe the beater for Slytherin. Correct me if I'm wrong. You probably won't, but he is there. And again, they both do have secondary face prints. Oh, I guess he doesn't. Weasley does though, and his is a more stern look because he's a stern character in the universe. And yeah, that is all the minifigures in the set except for Fluffy. Now, Fluffy is a much more simplified version in the past. There's no crazy printing or mold. The mold for this is just this section alone, and it works honestly very well for what you're getting here. And of course, you do have the 3 molded heads, which can open and close their mouth. Opening the mouth is definitely difficult. You have to have nails to be able to do so. Otherwise, they're pretty much stuck closed. But each face is, I believe, identical, and they just sit on here like so. It's almost seamless, and it kind of looks pretty cool. You can remove all the heads if you want. They're very simply attached, and it doesn't look too bad at all. And here we are with the tallest probably ever Harry Potter set they've ever released. This thing is absolutely huge. I have to stand up to fully get the full height of this thing. It is not small whatsoever. For reference, here is the size of a hat standing up. You can fit about 3 of them for the height. So it's definitely pretty large at that. And of course, we're going to start at the bottom of this set. It has 3 trees. There is Clip here, which we can get into in a different video. There are the trees, and there is an entrance here, which we'll get to in a little bit as well. And then that's pretty much the bottom. They're just trees. There's 1 play feature here. If you don't know it, I'm going to have you guess before we get to it, and you probably see it already, but it's very hidden away, which is cool. And now we can actually flip this over to get into the interiors. I think I'm going to start at the bottom, not the bottom of this set. We're going to start actually at Gryffindor Common Room. Now this section, I'm pretty sure cannot be removed because it's actually attached to here. If we remove this portrait right here, we can see that it is attached with that stud, that Technic pin right there to the rest of the tower, which is actually kind of cool. Because it just held more of durability. However, it's not as modular. You can, I'm pretty sure, remove this, but I don't really want to. Yeah, it can be removed, this whole top section, but I'm not doing it because it's not really that ideal. But however, the Gryffindor common room is honestly so cool. You have 2 beds with some beans on there. You have Hedwig, just a little bit of space in there, nothing crazy. You can maybe put like a normal Hedwig that doesn't have the wings, but you can fit an owl in there, so that's kind of cool. There's banners for Gryffindor. There is 2 chairs, fireplace, and of course the door. And when you spin to the other side, it is the fat lady. You can say the password, which I don't know because it changed so much, and you can open up to this section. Now it doesn't really open up all the way, so you kind of do have to remove one of the chairs, and then you can re-put it down if you want to get the full access to this interior space. But again, this is definitely a nice space for Gryffindor students. Next, we can go down a floor and we can see the stairs, which are actually very functional to get all the way to Dumbledore's office. We'll start here. Dumbledore's office is very full. You have the Sorting Hat, Fox the Phoenix, the Sword of Gryffindor, and a table for him. Now, you might think it's definitely hard to get Dumbledore in there. This table is very much removable so that you can put Dumbledore in there. And there is also stairs to go to the backside that are not accessible, but you can still put Dumbledore there and put his desk right in front of him to have him in this set. And this last section we will get to at the end of this video. But now we can take a look at the staircases and the staircase room. Now the staircase room does have access to the balcony of the set, so it wraps all the way around to here and all the way through to this section, which can go up to the stairs, which has tons and tons of portraits all around. Now this staircase can either be moved to the Gryffindor common room, or it can be moved to go up a flight of stairs. Then you take this hallway, goes up the flight, then you have access to Dumbledore's office. You can have it being closed off to the public, or it can be opened by here or here. That's not the best way to look at it, but it does work to going all the way up to Dumbledore's office. And yes, this is one of the 2 sections that can be removed at the top of this, so it's definitely nice for moving it around. It's about the same height all the way around. And again, this top section can also be removed. We're getting to that at the end. Then, of course, you have access to Fluffy's room, so we can place Fluffy in there, and there is the harp in there as well. And if you notice, there is a little staircase, kind of, to this section here, which, if we flip this set around and pull this off, there is a new entranceway to a new part of Hogwarts that we will get someday, probably next year, and it's held by 2 studs. So they definitely have this purposeful as an addition. And it's so a dual-purpose room for Fluffy and an entranceway. And now we can get to the last 3 sections of this set, where we are going to take Harry, Ron, and Hermione to act these out. So we can start with Hermione, who can learn how to open the trapdoor, and we can place her in. Now, as you can see, she doesn't fall all the way through. If you remember at the start of this video, I said there was a play feature, and there is. On the previous side of the set, there is a little lever that you can press up and down to open the Devil's Snare, and it opens like so, dropping the minifigure in and closing the trapdoor if you're lucky. Now, to access this, you flip the set around, and it's this lever here. It's very hidden away and has a very satisfying sound at that. It's very simple, it looks very cool, and it works very well as intended. Easily my favorite play feature in this entire set. And however, this section is not removable like other ones are. It is stuck in place, so it's definitely not ideal, but it works because of the play feature, and I think it's kind of excusable. Now we can move on to the keys section, which is the first removable section of this set, which we'll take a look at later. And then once you finish the keys room, you can go on to the chest room. And this is also removable, which we'll look at in a second as well. And then sadly, you do not lead to the last room. However, it is at the top of the set because this room is a dual purpose room for the Philosopher's Stone and Harry seeing his family. You can flip it around to see both different sections of this, and it also acts as the final duel for the first movie. And above him is a space for a spider, maybe an owl, and a portrait at the top, with the top of Dumbledore's office. And for this is the keys section. You can actually open this up for some reason, just to give more space. And you have 4 keys in the set. You have a broom, and you can spin this middle pillar to act out Harry flying to get the correct key. And of course we can close this. And actually all the keys are the same. I wanted to point that out. There's no differences, so you're not getting a key with broken wings or anything. But again, it's there, it's cool. And lastly, we have this little section for chess. It is a 4x4 square, so you can't really play chess on it, but you can figure it out. You can make your own game with it. And one of the bishops does have a place where you can place Ron on top of it, which is actually really cool. And you can take it off and just play it however you want. Each of the pieces are removable, and they're all mirrored of each other for the set. So again, you can basically place them however you want to, like so. And again, it simply fits in here. And this one, I'm not going to attach any other sets because I think they look good by themselves, because you kind of want the whole scene there. And of course you can remove those 3 sections, and you can also remove this top section, like I said before, and you can get a better look at it. It's pretty simple. I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of those, but there's 2 new pieces in the set. Both of these exterior panel pieces are brand new. As you can see, there's a seam, and there's 2 of them in this set, and they're one of my favorite parts about the set, and it just gives it this grand look. Now there's one more section you can of course remove, and that is this top section right here, and that can be its own standalone section, and you can have better access to Dumbledore's office, which is just very cool in my opinion. And that is everything for this Harry Potter set. Make sure to come back and subscribe to my channel, put notifications on to come back to see my entire Hogwarts collection and to see it better. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again later. Goodbye.